Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This is episode 48 of my playthrough of Into the Woods by GMT Game, representing the Battle of Shiloh. And it's the beginning of the 9 a.m. tent, and we've done all the command control gubbins. We are now into the first activation, which is Sherman. One error that was pointed out to me is that I'd only put 3 chits in for Sherman. He has an improved efficiency, so he should have had 4, and I have already done that. So all 4 chits for Sherman are in the actual pool, and it is Sherman that is beginning the show for 9 a.m. So if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already and enjoy what I do, and any comments much appreciated. Enough of the housekeeping, and let's go down to the map and see what's going on. One other viewer asked if we could see the whole map. Well, that's about as best as I can get it, the whole map on the screen. So it's pretty much all the forces. So you've got the Confederates obviously here along this line, and the Union here, and all the way back to here, funneling forward. So when you look at it this side, from top over the whole situation, it don't look that big. I played 3 days of Gettysburg, and this fits, well, it's a lot smaller. Yet it still takes the time to play. That's just the nature of the beast of these types of games. So let's zoom in on Sherman. He's activated. What is he actually going to do? Okay, so there's the sequence of play. So we're in the activation segment. We're doing now the change order phase for Sherman. So we'll go through change order, brigade coordination, and action phase. So let's bring that down. Now he's got his 4 brigades. We've got McDowell over here. We have Buckland in the middle. Hildebrand, he's actually got only the artillery that he's in command of, so that could be stripped away from him. I think we need to get him into the back, put him under reserve orders and see if he can gather up some of his routed dudes. And then we've got Stuart over here marching across, and then we've got some cavalry, which is not sure where the cavalry is. There it is. At least 1 battalion of the cavalry. Where's the other one? Under the artillery? I will find it as we go along. Okay. So what to do? Which brigade to activate? I think what we'll do is we'll get Hildebrand out of the way first. We'll activate him. He's got no actual units other than the artillery, which we could transfer at some point, but we're going to get Hildebrand out of there at the moment and give the artillery an actual shot. Why not? So, yeah, let's do that. Ooh, who should we target? Well, who can we see is a good question. Let's see what elevation he's actually on. Okay, so he's 1 elevation higher, but he's actually on the same elevation as this guy. So let's fire at this guy. We don't need to want to change facing, do we? So that will be 6 artillery within 2 hexes, TAs and TBs. Let's bring up the firing charts. That's this way. Boom, boom, boom. Right, TA and TBs within 2 hexes are both at +2, so they might as well fire all 6 at the same time. They could fire separately, and in some ways that it can be advantageous because you can hit them with the first lot and then disorder them, and then possibly disorder them again. But it gets harder so what do I do that for? Because this is 2 hex range, you're needing a 4+ to get a result. And then with the 2, that's with the 2, and then with a 4, you're still looking at 2+. It's quite easy, I suppose. But the 6, you've got a lot more better range of actual losses. So we'll fire the 6. Now, Range effects, which is determined as +2, but it's firing through the woods and into the woods. That's -2 straight off. Um, that is about it. There's nothing dispersed or anything like that. So it's 6. Great. That could hurt. That's a 9. That's one big D. That's wow. You don't very often get that kind of result. So if we'd have kept it at the 4 to 5, that would be 1D+2, which is the little d means you roll a UDD. The big D is an automatic disorder. So that shot comes screaming through the woods um, and tears them a new one. Who are they? The 21st Alabama? Okay. So they're disordered. And they take a step loss, so I need to find me step counters over here. No, strength points. There we go. It was on 10. It now goes to 9. Increases control equals. That was rather unpleasant. Let's change his facing bits and then stick it underneath. There we go. And then Hildebrand is getting out of dodge. Oh, not the artillery. Now, I think on that terrain, that is for a leader. What are they paying for a trail? Farm lane, 1 movement point per hex. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Move to the road. 5. Blimey, where's the road go? Uh, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's his maximum. He could move. Now he's marked out command. That means he only gets one activation less than Sherman. So we'll mark him as first activation. He's probably not going to do much more this turn. That artillery is still technically his. I'll leave that little marker beside it. And he's currently on advance orders, which we're probably going to change at some point. So he can start rallying his dudes. Okay, so that's Hildebrand done. Now, we have got a wee bit of a problem here in this flank. It's a good job Sherman went first. So, now, Wraith's brigade here aren't part of Sherman's. There's cavalry. Is that? Is blue? Yeah. Is. Well, the cavalry is treated as a separate command. So like a brigade of its own division, as it were. And we can't dismount. So these guys we know are now under attack orders. We can see the chit there. We're just going to have to move out of their range. So let's move this cavalry in the wrong way. So that's 3. And then it's 2, 4. Actually, 2, 4. 3, 5. Okay. Hopefully that'll give time for someone else to get there. We don't know what the next chit's going to be, do we? So we don't know what's going to happen there. All right, there's the guns. So that's that cavalry. You got the other cavalry here. We'll form up on them. So, wrong way. It's working backside first. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6. Now that is a ridge. I don't think a ridge costs anything extra unless it's got. Let me just bring up the terrain charts. Ridge. No, no additional cost. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. There we go. And I'm going to put an A1 on them. One unit without a command, so yeah, I think the other cavalry should be working in the same amount of activations, but we will see. Okay, so that's those 2 done. Now then, Buckland. Where is the rest of Bucklands? Is he out of command as well? Or was that a follow on from last time? Buckland's in command. That's one of his units, so that's probably a carryover. Remove that. Buckland's only got a command range of 3. They're out of command. They're out of command. Now, it looks like he's only got 3 regiments. Let me refer to my book. Remember this? Shiloh, yeah. Dum, 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 dum. Right. So Buckland's brigade is made up of 3 regiments, either the 46th or the 48th Ohio, and 2 others. Hold on. Let me get the glasses. 48th Ohio, 70th Ohio, and 72nd Ohio. And yeah, it looks like they're all disordered. Hmm. What to do with them? Try and rally them or fall back? I think maybe falling back at the present moment. Okay, so you can step back or you can go and do because they're under attack orders. Okay, so I think we're going to try some withdrawal movement here because they're under attack orders. Staying and fighting, I think that we could get some serious routage going on here. So trying to recover, their morales are quite low. So let's try and, well, at least pull some of the units back. The 2 that are engaged. Now, I've been using something on a war game I mentioned in another YouTube video, something called Notebook LM. And it's a useful tool. It's on the internet. It's a Google thing. And I've input the Great Battles During Civil War rules into it and also into the Woods PDF. And here we go. I asked it the question, how to do withdrawal movement. And it's giving me a long spiel there. Rather than me looking through the rule book, it's all there. Apart from one thing, it hasn't covered the actual Into the Woods, because Into the Woods is, instead of saying maximum of if you enter the hex that costs more than 1 movement point, Into the Woods is more than 2 movement points. So we're going to do that. These with Buckland are going to attempt to retreat or withdraw 2 hexes. Try and get back onto this camp here. Okay. So each one of those hexes costs 1.5 rather than 2. So if we look on there, the unit may not, if the unit enters a hex that costs more than 2 movement points, the unit makes a universal die roll as it enters each hex with a +1 die roll for each movement point in excess of 1. Okay, so each one of those is only 1.5 movement points rather than 2. So the unit is in the actual rulebook as a special rulebook. A unit that's withdraws into a hex that would cost 2 points or more to enter UDDs as it enters each hex with a +1. So they've changed it in these rules because otherwise everyone wouldn't withdraw. So he doesn't have to do a UDD as he pulls back. Now, do these guys get a shot at him as he does so? So, as I say, can they fire? So I asked that question to that LM, notebook LM, and there's the can enemy units fire at units using withdrawal movement? Withdrawal fire is a type of non-phasing fire that allows a non-phasing unit to fire an enemy unit that's attempting to leave one of its adjacent frontal hexes. Okay, and it gets the shot as they leave, so before you actually physically move the counter. So actually, this unit is still technically there, and these both will open up on him, which they will. 7 from each hex. That's actually 14 strength points of fire going in there. So you can see how useful that notebook LM is. I could have spent a fair bit of time looking that up in the rules and such forth. I just had to ask a little question. I like it. I haven't found it to make an error as yet. So, but anyway, let's go back. So we've got muskets. They're at +2 because they're still adjacent when the shot goes in. And currently, range effects is +2. Terrain effects, they are in the wood, not so that's -1, and they are disordered. Another -1, so it's -2, +2 for it. So it's a net 0 result, but 14 steps firing. They roll a 6, which rounds them. We're on here. 6 with 14 is a big D. So they've taken another disorder. Going back on the question here, any failed UDD or D or step loss, the phasing it suffers as a result of the withdrawal fire limits its withdrawal movement to 1 hex. The unit suffers a second disorder, it must apply the appropriate result for the second disorder table and does not use withdrawal movement. So he has taken second case disorder, which back on here means what? Well, it was from the fire table. So he does move back 1 SP, 2 hexes, but he loses 1 strength point from the shot. That was just a big D, wasn't it? So he just loses 1 strength point and then retreats 1 to 2 hexes. But he has to do another check as well, which is a route check because of the union rules for this early period up to that apply till 10 a.m. Any fire results that causes route check from fire until the end of the 10 a.m. turn of any first day scenario, Union infantry units that suffer a second disorder from small arms fire, which they've done, must UDD after any required retreat. Okay, a failed result in route. One of the things I've done it once or twice, but I haven't done it universally because it's one of the extra rules that I sort of forget. So the Union have been getting away with this. So there they go back to. First of all, we've got to determine if Buckland gets actually hit because that unit has taken a step loss. He's fine. And then we've got to do their UDD, which if they fail, they rout. They roll a 7. That doesn't look too good. Their morale is 4. Buckland does make it 5, but that's not good enough. They've gone. Now, what happens to Buckland? Okay, we're going to change the path that it would take for its to hit. Yeah, I'd forgotten that if it routed, which was likely, that would have to take a morale check. So I wouldn't retreat it adjacent. That would be silly. But we've still got to take a step loss. So let me just decrease that. Okay. They then go to the route box. Okay. No, there's no actual. I've got to move in there myself. Hold on there. Okay, so I removed that unit for routing. There was no adjacent infantry unit. Um, Buckland himself is not removed from the map. And again, I used the source. For unit routes, what happens to a leader stacked with them? Okay, therefore, for unit routes, any leader stacked with it is not eliminated, but must be repositioned. Okay, again, I could have spent ages looking for that. Buckland will end up on his unit over here with his attack order there. Okay, that didn't go too well. So second Ohio will, and they apparently can't change facing, but you'll go back to there, stacked with good old Sherman. Um, and that's Buckland's done. Oh no, it's not got the unit here. The actual, they're not going to withdraw. They are going to try and rally. So it's a 5. Buckland actually makes it a 6 or less, but it's Union. So effectively, there's a +1 on the dice for Union at this time of the day, -1 for Buckland. They're all 2, they rally. So let's flip them back. Okay. That's a big unit. Right, what about Sherman himself? I don't really want him to, he's like, all right, wait a minute. We won't move him just yet. We can move him anytime, anyone in his brigade. So McDowell is the next one over here. I think we'll try it and recover this unit's morale. Okay. And try and see if we can get some ammo back for him. Okay. So he's G3. Blimey, they're rubbish, aren't they? They really are rubbish. G3. Blimey. Okay, so that makes it 4. But then it's another one less, 3 or less. Because McDowell counteracts the effect of the, what do you call it? Union detriment. They got lucky. Right. Okay, so they recover from disorder. Now what to do with them? Oh, and then the ammo supply. I better check the ammo supply rules. Okay. So artillery normally recovers supply automatically, as long as they're within a certain distance of a road or a lane. Infantry have got to make a resupply roll, and and they've got to be on or within 2 hectares of a road. Well, they are. That unit's there, the road is there. So they are within 2 hectares of the road. Small arms must roll for ammo resupply with a die roll of 4 or less, resupply the unit. Whereas if the small arms unit is on the road, there's a DRM of 2. If the unit is on a farmland, DRM of -1. Okay. So they've got to roll because they're not getting any DRM. So they need 4 or less to get resupply. 9. No one's coming through with any ammunition. I just read further down on the actual chart, and it says Union units have a +3 DRM for ammo resupply until the end of the 10 a.m. turn of any first day scenario, unless they're in a camp hex. Okay, so they were only going to get resupply on a 1. 0 or 1. Okay, so there's a 20% chance of resupply. Not very good. Okay, what to do with the other 2 units? We're under attack orders. There's artillery. Oh, there's an infantry. Can the artillery fire? Can it see anybody? Okay, I've got to zoom in even more and see what levels these are on. So I believe he can see there. Remove all the units. That gun. It's a tricky one, but he's 1 level. Was he 2 levels? He's actually 2 levels lower. What the levels they're at is effectively the center of the hex. He's 2 levels lower. Can you see there? Well, that's going to go through the trees of those. So the answer is no, we can't. Because you can only fire one hex further into the woods. I was thinking if they were at the height above the woods. So if this unit had been here, he could shoot at him because these are lower, but he's not. So we can move the guns though. And I think moving them to there to support that infantry unit might be ideal. With the infantry. Okay. And this infantry unit, what are we going to do with you? He could fire. Yeah, let's do that. He's got a better weapon than the musketeers, than the 18th LA, whatever LA is, Louisiana. Yeah, 46 Ohio are armed with rifles. So that's a +1 for the rifles. And then you've got another, you've got a -1 for here and another -1 for here. So it's a net -1 with 7 increments. Ah, rubbish roll. Rubbish roll. Okay, let's just bring that up. So as you can see, rifles, muskets at +1 at 2 hex range, while a musket's at -1. Then you've got the woods themselves, and then you're shooting through the woods. That's net. So it's net -1. We had 7 increments. They rolled a 0, no effect. So good idea, didn't work. He has the option to reply, and he will do so. So we know he's a -1 for his muskets, then another -1 for firing through that hex, and another one for firing into that hex. Now, is there any other minuses for firing up that actual slope? Firing up the slope. Sloping ground. It says -2, the little K. What does the little K mean? Artillery has a DRM when firing from a slope hex. We're not firing from a slope, we're trying to fire. No, it doesn't seem to have no additional effect. Okay. So we're at a net -1. No, -1 for net -3. Nah, no effect. So just general smoke for the shots itself. Okay, so that's McDowell's units done. Sherman himself. He needs to keep McDowell, so I'm going to give McDowell his little A1 activation marker so that they have activated. I think Sherman's going to have to. Okay, we've got some artillery here. That was in command. So we might as well move that now. Wrong way again. Okay. So that's moving through the woods. That's 3, 6. I'm saying 3 confidently because that's what's on the chart. Sometimes it's difficult to remember. 6. So let's just change this facing. There we go. I think we're going to stick Sherman on those guns. Okay. Then let's just zoom out a little bit. We've got Stuart's brigade, which is somewhere around here. There it is. Okay. So they are moving to the rest of his division. And it is one movement point per hex on this road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Until the unit can form march orders, which is at the end of the 10 a.m. turn. So it's quite restrictive in that method, but there we go. They are marching. I think that's all of them. Yeah. Okay, and then we will put an A1 on him. Done. Okay, so we've had, let me just double check, that battery fired, did a devastating fire. The cavalry had done, the additional artillery here is done, Buckland's done, McDowell's done. We haven't put an A1 on Buckland, or for that matter, an A1 on Sherman to show that they've had one activation. Okay. Let's go to the Kepi and see who activates next for the next video. Roll pause. All right. Let's put Sherman there. I'll put him in the right place soon. And we have, oh, it's another union. And we flip the unassigned. Okay. Unassigned. I don't think that's many units, but I am going to save it for the next video. So let's go back up to the top and let's end the video at that point. Swings and roundabouts on that one. I mean, yes, a unit routed as it tried to do some withdrawal fire. It got absolutely blasted. I had to shift it thinking about the routes and then the route contusion. So I changed its move slightly on the route, which was fair enough. Yeah, not too good on that side, but at least they were able to stabilize that flank. Otherwise, that cavalry would have been hit by the infantry. So they managed to pull them back a little bit. So hopefully Sherman will get to go again before Claiborne can go. That's the beauty of it. This is why it's nice to play solo, because I just don't know. I just don't know. The unassigned, there's not many units, but I need to work out exactly who, what, where, and that could take a bit of time. So let's put that in the next video. But until next time, thank you for watching. All I can say is, if you haven't got this game, get it and get into Great Battles of American Civil War. I think it's a great system. I really do like that notebook LM. It really helps with the rules because the rules are a big chunk and they've got bits here and bits there and it correlates it all. As I say, I haven't found it doing an error yet, so I can highly recommend it. I'm going to be trying it out on a few other games that I've got. But this was the beast that I thought, it could break the camel's back. It's behaved admirably so far. But until next time, play games, have fun. Bye, Internet.